As firefighters, we're wired to respond, and we're wired to fix things. And we get very frustrated as firefighters when we go out and we can't get something fixed.
I've gone to the same individual and Narcaned them once a week for the past 3 weeks because they've been unable to receive treatment or unwilling to receive treatment.
People who used to hear a call and think, okay, I'm going to go help somebody, and they'd feel a passion, if you will, for that job, now find themselves hearing a call come in and they're like, meh, another call. That's compassion fatigue.
Our firefighters, usually we work in a firehouse together, but when they begin struggling, they isolate themselves. They personally get away from the group, and they tend to spend more time by themselves at work and at home. You'll also find that they become more irritable. They also develop trouble sleeping, which is a big problem for us.
Firefighters will detect compassion fatigue in themselves when they notice that 2 years ago they were really excited for their shift, and this year they're dreading their shift. Another way that a firefighter would know that they were experiencing compassion fatigue is that their spouse or their family member tells them a story, and that normally that story would have pulled their heartstrings, and now it doesn't. A final thing is that others can observe that compassion fatigue is happening in a firefighter because he or she no longer has the responsivity that was characteristic of them when they started their career.
That numbness, that not wanting to be at work, that feeling of uselessness, that feeling that whatever I do doesn't matter. It's just going to be the same situation again. And just, some of that fire is just gone.
We neglect ourselves to the point that we don't even exercise anymore. It's well known that alcohol is a big problem with our firefighters, but we also develop some problems with over-the-counter medications. The very opioids that are causing the problems out there on the streets with our runs now become our best friends as we try to cope and deal with our compassion fatigue.
Having a peer support team in the department is a very good buffer against compassion fatigue for the rank and file.
When we talk to one of our peers, we're able to talk out what's frustrating inside of ourselves and sharing that with someone. Just getting it out makes a big difference.
I became a licensed social worker in New York State. So I had both. I had the clinical, I had the kind of boots on the ground, plus I had the recovery as well. So it's easily relatable. And I think that's the thing that peer supporters, members of our service bring to the table when they enter into any kind of role of helping others.
We need to make our firefighters more aware of the phenomena of compassion fatigue. The next thing we want to do with our people is we want to improve their self-care. In other words, we want them to eat better, we want them to sleep better, and we want them to exercise.
People don't necessarily recharge just with more sleep. They need to take time away from the things that are wearing them out. That old adage that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Being rigorous with yourself about rest and restoration is the way that you avoid getting into a serious compassion fatigue.
I think the main message that should be out there is that there is help. I don't like when there's individuals that are fearful, shameful. They don't want to receive that help because they're afraid of the consequences. We have taken great strides in the fire service and society in general in accepting that addiction is a disease. We need to be able to treat it as such. And some of that starts at home. It starts with us in the fire service, realizing that we're not all able to function and do our jobs and not be affected by substance abuse and things like that, but that it's okay. It's okay.